Earlier I mentioned, use one calendar. Well, the same thing applies to address books. So what happens if you have multiple contact lists? Maybe you've got an Outlook contact list and you have a card scan. You use one of those scanners and you have a lot of business cards that you've scanned. You've used optical character recognition within that card scan software, and you have a list there. And maybe you have a list on a tablet. Of course, if you had a tablet and it was Android, it would be integrated with your Google or Gmail list. Well, let's say you have Yahoo Mail, and you want to take those contacts and put them into your Google address book or contacts. Well, that involves, or V-cards, for instance. You sometimes see at the end of a person's signature in an email a V-card attachment. Well, I've linked to Wikipedia here because it gives you a really good in-depth explanation of it. But essentially, it's an electronic business card. Now, you can create a comma-separated value export file from just about, well, I should say most email systems with contact lists. All right? So if you use Yahoo Mail, for example, you have an address book in Yahoo. Well, if you want to merge those into your Gmail contacts, you would need to export a comma-separated value file from Yahoo and then import it into Gmail, the contact manager. Okay? And there are a number of things that you really need to know. For example, in the import process with Google, you need at least one header field that says name, okay, and you need at least one contact field that says email. Now, Google will recognize most of the typical names field names. So, for example, if you have address, all right, as a column or as a field within a database, when you export that database, all those database records, you can manipulate it in a spreadsheet. Okay? So that way you can kind of organize it, sort it in different ways. You may want to print out that list. Of course, you can do that within Google Contacts as well. But in any case, you can export a file from an existing address book or contact list in another email system, Outlook, etc. And Google will enables you to import that list, and it's somewhat automatic. In other words, if you have a standard field name in the header row of your spreadsheet or the database, of course you create a spreadsheet by exporting the database file in a comma-separated value format. But as long as one of them says name or contact name, etc., and another one is email, it will import whatever it can into the appropriate fields in the Google contact records. So it'll create a whole additional list for you. And it's a fairly simple process. The trick is getting the list to begin with. So in other words, you have to have a file that you've exported from a particular system. Now, there are just too many systems to really explain all of them. So depending on the system that you're using, you would find a way to export your list. Then you want to import that list into Google Contacts.